Good morning, Golden Raiders. This is Mr. Stone, and today I have your presidential election of 2016 primer. Today, I'm going to describe to you the four major parties that have four candidates in the race for presidential election. We're also going to describe each party's beliefs and major parts of their platforms. Platforms are what they believe should happen in various policy issues. We're going to go in party alphabetical order, which means we start with the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party's candidate for president is Hillary Clinton. The Democratic Party generally believes in social responsibility, that the country, not simply individuals, needs to move forward, and that government can be a tool in helping out the people. On immigration, the Democratic Party's platform is against restrictions on immigration. It promotes a path to citizenship that would help illegal immigrants achieve U.S. citizenship faster. And finally, it promotes restricting deportation of children who arrived illegally in the U.S. And by children, they mean people under 18. In the economy, the platform for the party promotes business through wanting to create a program that would grant companies extra money and resources if they produce their materials in the U.S. in what Clinton calls her Make It in America plan. The platform calls for raising the minimum wage, although they don't describe as to what level. And finally, the platform argues for increasing taxes by adding an additional level of income tax. This new level would only affect those who make over $5 million a year in income. It would create $1.4 trillion in revenue that the federal government could use to fund new programs or to help with the national debt. But it could decrease investment from those individuals who earn over $5 million in new companies or saving money. That information, by the way, comes from the Tax Policy Center, which is a nonpartisan organization. In education, the Democratic Party promotes making college free for families that earn under $85,000 a year in 2017, and is pro increasing investment in education through infrastructure programs and education technology. In the environment, the Democratic Party is pushing for keeping high standards against pollution and would like to create a national infrastructure bank to pay for projects which private companies and states launch that would modernize energy usage, making greater use of alternative energy sources, as well as fixing the electrical grid. The Green Party is running its candidate, Jill Stein. The Green Party generally believes in a government that is more democratic than the current system, what they call grassroots democracy, and believes that government has a role in making things more equitable and fair. In immigration, the Green Party is against restrictions on immigration. Their platform for president promotes a path to citizenship for illegal immigrants that is quick and effective, and is argued to be more quick and more effective than the Democratic Party, although they don't describe as to how they would do that. And finally, it calls for a halt to all deportations of immigrants provided they are law-abiding individuals. In the economy, the Green Party is promoting a plan called the Green New Deal, in which jobs would be created by the government for large-scale alternative energy programs that would be building wind farms, building solar energy farms, fixing the electrical grid, updating buildings. So it would be a massive government job program. They would like to increase taxes on polluters and give tax breaks to corporations or companies that move towards green energy. They would like to create a living wage and outlaw discrimination against young employees and disabled employees. And they'd like to cut taxes on the lower and middle classes and increase them on top earners, although Jill Stein and the Green Party are unclear as to who those top earners are, unlike the Democratic Party. In education, the Green Party and Jill Stein promote making college free for everyone. They argue for increasing federal funds to schools, although not clear as to what level, and they would like to allow parents and teachers more input on the curriculum, which is what you learn in school, and the standards. And finally, the Green Party is very pro having a energy and environmentally conscious country. They would like to be 100% renewable energy by 2030 through the Green New Deal. We have the Libertarian Party, which has Gary Johnson as its candidate for president. The Libertarian Party believes the government must be severely limited in size, and it believes that they need to focus on the individual and allow companies and individuals to run what the government actually does. So that roads, schools, police, hospitals should not be run by the government, but should be run by individuals and their companies instead, as they believe that is a more effective method. The Libertarian Party is against restrictions on immigration. They would like to have open immigration like the Democratic Party and the Green Party. Their platform promotes a path to citizenship for illegal immigrants, but unlike the previous two parties, this one is centered on immigrants being employed. So if illegal immigrants are employed, it should be easier for them to become citizens. And their platform pushes for a greater access to work visas. In the economy, the Green Party promotes massive cuts to government spending and having a balanced federal budget. It calls for deregulating business, so getting rid of a lot of rules businesses have to follow, including the minimum wage, as the Libertarian Party and Gary Johnson believe that would create more jobs by eliminating the jobs they cut by having to follow regulations. Finally, Gary Johnson and the Libertarian Party is pushing for what they call a consumption tax, where instead of paying income tax, you would pay taxes on literally everything that you buy, as opposed to everything that you earn. In education, the Libertarian Party would like to cut the Department of Education, as well as to eliminate Common Core standards. And in the environment, the Libertarian Party would actually like to keep regulation, because they believe it stops catastrophes and saves natural resources, but would like to stop federal programs that give tax breaks or grants to green energy companies, as they believe that is not with keeping with the capitalist ideas that they have. Finally, we have the Republican Party and their candidate, Donald Trump. The Republican Party believes that government must be limited in what it controls so as to protect individual rights and traditions, and that by focusing on the individual, their rights, and their businesses, that they can create greater growth and progress in the country. The Republican Party's platform on immigration is pro restrictions on immigration under the principle that it will eliminate competition for jobs and make it so that more Americans could have jobs instead of immigrants. It promotes the construction of a physical wall between the U.S. and Mexico to stop illegal immigrants, and it argues that immigrants, specifically those practicing Islam, need to pass a screening test to find out if they are, quote, radicalized, unquote. In the economy, the Republican Party promotes cuts to government spending at 1% per year, which is a penny, which is what Donald Trump calls his penny plan. And those would be cuts to things that are not military related or not related to entitlement programs like Social Security. Their platform calls for an end to many federal regulations, which they believe stifle American businesses and make it so it's harder for businesses to improve our lives. And it pushes for renegotiating trade deals worldwide. Finally, Donald Trump and the Republican Party have a tax plan that would have Americans taxed at only 3% levels. This would decrease taxes for everyone, but as is pointed out by the Nonpartisan Tax Policy Center, it could create an increase in the federal debt of $7 trillion in the next 10 years. Finally, the Republican Party is calling for greater support to school choice and to encourage colleges to reduce the cost of education through federal tax breaks. In the environment, the Republican Party would like massive decreases in regulation, and it pushes for increases in coal, oil, and natural gas production. So this concludes the 4 parties, their 4 candidates, their 4 beliefs, and their major platforms, what they believe should happen if you elect their candidate. But I want to show you that there's so much more going on in the 2016 election than just president. If you go to Google and type in "on the ballot," you will find a little thing here that allows you to find out what is on your ballot in each place. So let's go to the school, and it'll demonstrate what is on the ballot nationally, but also, perhaps more importantly, what's on the ballot locally. I'd encourage you to go onto YouTube right now and to type in your address after you type in on the ballot to find out what is on the ballot in your area and what your parents or you, if you're 18, could vote on. Thank you very much.